Hello, everyone. This is the Spot On Show, and we are doing a discussion group, live, interactive, and a question and answer as well. So first, we are starting off. I'm Renee Rose, your host. This is Dana. I can't look that way. This is Dana. This is Nicole, and their last name is
Nuebert.
because this is mom and this is daughter. So welcome them, please. And let's see. Well, look at that. We've got people popping in already. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Okay, so this is our chance to share. So do we want to share this? Let's see. This is on my timeline. So if you go into my timeline, you can share this.
Oh, it's not on the group?
Into the group. Nope, I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
So yeah, always at the beginning, we've got to
actually
share, because this just doesn't, if you don't do it, it's then all of you share. So if you would share right now to let everyone know that we're going to be talking about human design, and we've got something special for all of you. So while you guys are doing, I'll talk, and then when you're talking, I'll do my sharing. Okay, so we're going to discuss the manifestors, projectors, and the generators, and the reflectors, and mostly talk about that. We have almost everything covered as far as the charts, and with you coming in, I'm sure we'll get plenty of generators coming in, right? So my son said yes as a surprise to come in and join us, although he doesn't want to be on camera, so we have to respect that. So he's sitting behind the camera helping us, which makes me feel so glad. Because as a projector mama with my manifestor son, I need some help. Even though he's 31 and I'm 55, it's never too late to learn. So with a mama that doesn't stop talking, can you imagine how difficult it's been for a manifestor to get in? And he's also Pisces, so I think that's where I can be interjecting tonight. I'll be throwing in some of the astrology when I feel that. Let's throw that in, because I also believe in the Chinese, because the I Ching goes very close to, the human design, so it pulls it all together. So for me, the I Ching is like I'm bringing in the Chinese animals. So like I'm an Aries rabbit projector. So that's what we're all hopefully can find out, right? You want to find out the first things about who you are and what you are. So astrologically, what's your sun sign? And do you know your rising sign and your moon sign? Ooh, that's where you get to do readings, right? And out there, do you guys know, are you a projector? Are you a generator? Woo, generator. Are you a manifestor? Do you know? Because that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to start off with my son's manifestor chart as an example. And you guys did all your sharing and everything, right? We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, and we're going to try to interact with you. We're definitely going to interact with you at the end and everything. But for right now, we're going to start discussing some things about some charts. And I'm going to do some sharing. So you guys, whoever wants to start.
Do you want to talk about manifesting?
Go ahead, Nick.
Okay, so first off, a manifestor is very rare. They are like 8% of the world. Maybe, we have probably run, I don't know how many charts at this point, a couple hundred, and we have found 2 manifestors in our entire chart process. This is actually our 3rd, and there's a couple things about a manifestor that I want to touch on. They have a repelling aura, so as children, it can be difficult for a child to go and make friends because their aura is naturally repelling. And kind of what that is all about is it's because they're so powerful. They're kind of the leaders. They're the ones that go out and create. They're the ones that say, hey, this is how I want to do this. And it may not make sense to any of us, but that's how they initiate. They are the law of initiation and the law of action. They want something, they go get it. There is no telling a manifestor no. That is not in the books. A couple things I was going to say, like with a manifestor, I don't know where I was going to go with that.
You also can't tell them what to do. They are so independent creatures that you can't, either way.
They are very independent independent creatures. The thing about a manifestor, that's where I was going to go.
I know.
If you are out of your strategy and authority, you feel anger, serious, true anger. Now, someone like you do not actually harness anger. If you feel anger, you're actually going to feel his anger and amplify it.
I do bitterness.
You feel bitterness.
And so I try everything to pull his anger right down. As an empath, I just try to...
You suck it up.
He doesn't get angry. But when he does, he's angry.
It's a true anger, too.
Yes,
I mean, it's an anger that I can't even understand or harness. It is a very true anger.
Or he.
Yes. Now, whenever you, as a manifestor, are according to your authority and strategy, you will feel peace. And that is the ultimate goal for a manifestor, is just to be at peace. And we've known multiple manifestors actually that they say peace a lot, and that's kind of their goal, is to be at peace in their life. And through their creations, through their initiations, through going after what they want and creating it, they will find that peace. It's all about what's true to them and making it happen. It's not about waiting around or seeing what, no, you go get it. And it will work for you, because that's what a manifestor does. They are very powerful beings. The only thing that Mom always jokes about too, though, is before you go after and you turn our ship, could you tell us what you're doing first? Because a lot of times whenever a manifestor goes out, they just do something and we're all blindsided. And a lot of times we get almost like bitter over that. We're like, come on, man, you can't just do that to us. But it's how a manifestor works. You just go and it will happen every single time. The law of manifestation is not even necessarily true. It's mostly the law of action and initiation. Go get it. It's yours.
Absolutely. You know, we have come across a manifestor child, I think 12 years old, and his mom was so funny telling this story about him, because he wanted to play football, but he was too young. And the coach even told him he was too young, plus Mom said, you're not playing football. Well, you don't tell a manifestor no, right? And so what did he do? He went and wrote another coach from another high school a letter asking for a recommendation that he took to his high school coach. Somehow he ended up on this team, even though Mom said no, the coach said no, but you don't tell a manifestor no. So it was just kind of funny. Also, a manifestor is here to inform, because how it works is a manifestor gets this idea in their head as to what they want to create, okay? But it's really the generators that are the workers of this world. They are. So the manifestor needs these generators to go out and do this. So when Nicole says the problem with the manifestors is they get all these generators creating this little thing, and then all of a sudden the manifestor changes his mind and he just turns the ship, but he didn't even tell us. And we're turning, and we get so frustrated with the manifestor, because all we ask from them is to inform us a little bit before you go to do it. So a manifestor is completely different than a generator, a projector, a reflector. And that's why they're so rare. Now, a manifestor, they're usually the top network marketers out there. They're the ones that make the most amount of money. So what are they doing? They are teaching us how to be successful at something like network marketing. So how is he going to teach me to be successful at network marketing? He's going to go out and say, you go out and you talk to 20 people a day, and this is what you do, and you go out and take all kind of action, and you'll be successful, right? That's what a manifestor is going to do, because for him, that is 1,000,000% correct. For the rest of us, that is wrong. And that is why so many of us fail at network marketing. Now, I happen to be, and so with my daughter, very successful at network marketing, but that's because we started to understand about human design, and the company that we're very successful with is led by a manifestor who's out there telling us it's going to be done this way. Go out, you just have to take action. Just go do it. Just go do it. That's a manifestor. Just go do it. Just go do it, because they have to. They manifest just about anything they want as long as they take action. But once we do that, we're pushing it away. And that's what is the percentage of 90-some% of network marketers fail. And it's all because we have the 8% of a manifestor teaching 70% of us. Doesn't quite work. And so anyways, yeah. Anything you want to add to that, Nick?
Not for a manifestor in particular. I mean, we can start going into his chart in particular now, because he is here.
Oh, yeah, we absolutely can. Because with the manifestor, we keep joking around about it. We feel very fortunate that he is sitting here. most manifestors don't care at all to learn about themselves. This is just craziness. Let's go take initiation. Why aren't we creating something, right? So we feel very fortunate having him with us. I used to kid around with this other lady who's a manifestor. She always says, come on, Dana, I do want to know my chart. And I keep saying, no, you don't. And I would say, if you're wondering if you're a manifestor and you're on tonight, no, you're not, probably. No, I'm just kidding. But we say that because normally a manifestor would not be on here learning about it. It's not that every once in a while they're not curious, but very short attention span here. So we're going to get into his chart because we know he's going to slowly get up and just disappear.
He's going to get up and disappear. I know, he's already. That's why I'm just kind of sitting back. Would you mind tossing over some pillows so I can like lean forward? That'd be awesome, honey. So what I wanted to say is I want to kind of throw in some things from a mama's perspective and see if I'm correct, because I've been trying to explain to him who he is and what he is. Okay, so I add the divinely inspired part of, we have our manifestors, but when they wait, they know who they are, take their time to learn who they are, and they wait, and they're divinely inspired. They see the whole thing. Once they get it all, then if they just inform their projectors, because he's a manifestor, my oldest son, my youngest son is a projector, and his mom is a projector. So I told him, just let us know whenever this happens, when you're divinely inspired, you know, go do whatever you need to do until then and leave him alone, everyone. Come on, give him the space. When he's divinely inspired, come out and let us know. You know, and what I believe is that we as projectors will already, especially if he's in the house, know what it is. And we'll already been inspired and already been working on it, but we haven't been given the go-ahead. So when he informs us, I've been thinking this, I see it's possible, this is what I want to do. We go, oh, we already know how to do that. We have all the plans right here. What do you think? Well, yeah, okay, if you tweak it a little bit here and tweak it a little bit there, this is the plans. Yeah, go ahead. Stamp of approval, and off we go. And we've already been collecting our generators. So we just say, we got a new project. You want to get on board? It's going to be great. This one's divinely
Very cool. Very
inspired.
cool. You know, one thing I wanted to say about their aura, too, because that sounds terrible that it's repelling, right? But if they understand that it's a little bit of a repelling aura, only because they are just so darn powerful, then when they get into a group, they're not so intimidated, or they don't get so offended. It's just that they're so powerful. They really, really are. So it's not that they're not lovable. I mean, you can absolutely fall in love with a manifestor. Don't think anything like that. So I really wanted to explain that aura just a little bit better. I don't really like that word repelling, because it sounds like they'd never have any friends, and that is just not the case. It's just like a projector in the room we were talking about earlier, about how we seem to be ignored, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. But talk about those manifestors. If they understand just how powerful that aura is, right, then they just realize it, and they can maybe watch tone of the voice or something, maybe just tone it down just a little bit, or just try to soften it just a little bit. So it's not that they don't have friends. They can have friends. It's just a lot of them feel like nobody wants to be their friend when they're young. They just don't understand it.
Now, Dominic's a Pisces, so we throw in that zodiac, and being Pisces are more empathic and a little more introvert, a little more quiet. He is so toned down. He actually just the opposite. He needs to do the opposite. So then he came in and with the right energy. Then see how the combination of things.
Absolutely.
If you say that, and then you can say, well, bring in the fact that he's a Pisces. He's just the opposite, where most would be like that, but depending on their sign, puts another different variation on the same thing. There's many manifestors, but they're all different signs, I bet.
Yes, and he happens to be a splenic manifestor, if you want to talk about that.
Well, if you caught the interview earlier, I talked about splenic. Mom's still chewing me out about that one. A splenic is a lion, man. You know the answer when it happens. You don't have a planning. You don't have a time where you can be like, okay, so on Friday, I'm going to go. No, it's not like that for a splenic. A splenic can make up their mind when it happens. They know when an earthquake happens. They know when a tornado happens. They are here for survival. It's almost something that has kind of died in our society, unfortunately, because we're safe. We have made all these creature comforts that we don't have to be as survivalist. which unfortunately has numbed a lot of these splenics.
Right.
And so it's something that they actually need to use as a tool and work it. I always try and play with mom. She always gets mad at me, but I'm like, red or green apple. Just trying to like get her to like think about it, because you will feel it. It's in your lymphatic system. And if you can work on your lymphatic system, it will be heightened. It's like, I don't know what it feels like. I'm not splenic, but it can feel like, they say, tingles or jolts through your body when it happens. There is no planning it. There is no knowing when it's going to happen. It's something that I guess you feel through your lymphatic system. So if you are a manifester, or splenic, I would strongly suggest looking into your lymphatic system and strengthening that through herbs, through muscle exercises. I don't care how it is, but that splenic is so important. Danny, got anything to add on?
Yeah, absolutely. We're though, when you're splenic, you truly are spontaneous. You really are. So we'll get the urge to go do something, go do it. I mean, that's just who we are. And what's really hard, what's really tough with the splenic is, I said that I'd be there next Friday at that party. Well, Friday came and I don't want to go. I shouldn't go. I shouldn't. I've got to listen to it. So for us to plan, it seems like we're kind of rude people, but we truly only have our answer in this moment. And it can change on in a dime. You know, I'll say to Nicole, well, tomorrow let's head up to Phoenix or something. And then I wake up and I'll say, Nicole, we're going to Tucson. She'll be like, huh? Like, I don't know. You know, but she's really nice and she just kind of follows. But that's true, because I'm really trying to, you know, live my design or whatever. So it's truly spontaneous. Their truth is in the now. Most people, your truth is not in the now, because you have this emotional wave that we'll talk about also. But a splenic, which is kind of rare, we're one of those rare people that our truth is right now.
And don't ever get offended by that either. You know, he said he would go to lunch with me, and then lunch date comes and he's like, not interested. You can't get offended by that, because that's how their system works. That's how they know the answer. In that moment, they don't know the answer. They know the second that it happens, and you have to respect that, because that's their authority. And if they don't listen to it, it numbs it. It numbs it. It numbs it. It numbs it. It is vital. It's a fleeting feeling that happens once and then it's gone. So if you do not respond to it and take it and go, okay, it said no, don't go, you don't go. If you don't do that and you go anyways, it's just gonna numb it. So you gotta be very aware. The other thing I like to touch on with splenics too is the spleen. Whenever it is lit up in your chart, it is like a happy hormone that is always being released in your body. So that's the spleen right there. It's the little brown triangle on the, I guess, right? I don't know. It's not the very bottom.
This side over there.
But
that spot right there.
It's like a happy hormone. So it's like a feel-good feeling all the time. So unfortunately what happens with a lot of splenics is they will start to get ill and they won't notice, because they constantly feel good. So people, like I'll catch her all the time where she'll start to look tired and she'll get dark circles. I'm like, are you okay? Well, she's naturally feeling good because of that spleen. She doesn't always know when she's sick. She doesn't always respond to her body because of this constant feel-good feeling. So again, with splenics, if people are constantly nagging at you or something like that, going, you okay? You've got some dark circles. Are you tired? They're noticing something that you're not. Be okay with saying, oh, maybe I'm not, and do a check with yourself, because it needs to be acknowledged, because it is showing and someone is feeling it and it's there for a reason. So again, another thing, just to be very gentle and understanding with a splenic, and something to pay attention to.
Like Nicole said, the splenic people are the most likely the one that they would finally give in to go to the doctor. They have like stage 4 cancer. I mean, that's how, because we always have this constant feel good. I can't tell you how many people where, you know, they'll look at me like, are you okay? And I always feel okay. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I have no clue. And I truly don't, you know, but we're the ones that a lot of times it's just too late.
Whoa.
Yeah, so and as a mother, it is something to be acknowledged.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, okay, that wasn't always nagging.
As an example,
sometimes you can see things.
For my 4-year-old nephew, he is a splenic projector. He was playing on the swing set and hurt his shoulder. Okay. He came over to our house. This happened on like a Monday. He came to our house on the weekend, and he was babying his shoulder. And he was babying it so much that we're like, you know what, Gabe, you really need to have Katie take him in. And so he's like, okay, fine. And after, an hour, couple hours
William's going,
of
no, I'm
us
fine.
convincing William, you got to go to the doctor.
He's fine. I'm
It's
fine.
not a bad thing. We take him to the doctor. This 4-year-old broke his collarbone on a swing set.
And he was fine.
Oh,
And he was
fine.
fine. He was totally fine.
Yeah, he was fine.
That is how extreme this can be. And so it is something that I always like to stress to a splenic, is just to be hyper aware, but also because like mom has gotten so agitated with us constantly asking like, are you okay? And she actually can get offended almost. And it's not something to get offended over. It's something to acknowledge and take into consideration. So something about that really quick. And we want to touch on his profile.
Go for it real quick.
It's a 5-1 profile. So if you guys have a 5-1, it is a common one. 5-1, 4-6, those are pretty common, which is both mom and I. 5-1.
3.
Oh, that's a brutal one too. We'll talk about that one later too. The 5-1 though is almost like, I always want to say this so bad, but it's like the Jesus complex. You automatically have this in your aura that others feel that you can fix their problems. So they are magnetized to you, and they totally believe that you can fix their problems. The downside of that is, it's the reason I say Jesus complex almost is because at the end of it though, if it all fails, you're the ones that are crucified. You're the ones, it's the reason that it all fell apart. It's all your fault. You're the one that led us astray. You told us to do it in the first place, and all of these things comes out. So another reason we're bringing it up too is just because something to be compassionate about. Like, you can't get upset at yourself whenever something didn't go the way it was supposed to go. It doesn't matter in the first place. It wasn't supposed to work. It wasn't supposed to work. Don't let what they're saying hurt your feelings. That's your aura. That's who you are. It's not a bad thing. None of this is bad. This is where the compassion, and I talk a lot about bringing compassion back through human design, because if you understand someone has that profile, she's always going to be attracting that. And it's not something like it hurts her feelings. It still breaks her heart. It's not easy for her to have it, but it is something that, we just need to acknowledge that happens. The other side of that is the one, and that's just an investigator, man. You guys like to get to the nitty gritty of things,
Yes.
study all night, tear it to shreds. You love to investigate things. You own it. You love it. So that's the other part of that 5-1. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, absolutely. I mean, I investigate constant. I mean, I just do. I love to investigate. Give me something to investigate. I'm just investigating all night long.
Is that the 1 or the 5?
The one.
That's the one. You have the one.
Then I get that.
The one.
Yes, I love doing research.
Yes, I think that's as far as we'll go into these charts.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we have anybody else's we want to read, has anybody sent charts yet or anything like that we can look
That's
at?
what I was trying to do. So far, it's kind of quiet.
So that's okay. We can next talk about the projectors, I would think.
Yes.
Yeah, so then we'll go into your chart.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So so a projector is the next aura type. We're about 20% of the population, which we did the numbers on this one, and they came out dang near perfect. It was like 15% of our charts or 17% of our charts were projectors. So as ironic as that is, that's kind of hilarious that their numbers are pretty that accurate. Other than our manifestors, they're the only ones that and reflectors, we've been having a hard time finding y'all. You guys are special and very unique. And you have a very important role in this place too. But projectors, we came in 1979. Is that 77?
1796. Ooh, you have those numbers. Woo!
Ooh, baby. All right, I won't say dates no more. We came here. I love the meme. I wish we had the meme. I would share it right now. There's like this carriage, right? And there's all these people pulling this carriage, and the carriage has square tires. And they're just working away, and they're just working away, and they're just working away, and a projector comes and goes, but what if we made them round? That's what a projector does. So a projector sees the overall of everything. So whenever we come in, and most of the times the manifestor started something, and now the generators are doing it, and they're building it, and they're creating it, and then a projector comes in, and they're like, okay, I like it. What about if? What about if? Because not only did the projector come in and identify with the person, they identify it as the whole. So they see the entire situation. So we are here to guide and kind of help those little places and those little nooks and crannies that you were kind of missing. Our aura is very penetrating. And we get one person at a time. We're not good in groups. We're not good at going to a party. It's not for us. We really thrive whenever someone recognizes who we are and then invites us in. And once we're invited in, our aura penetrates their G center and then almost fills all of their little voids in their system, and we read the inside of them almost. And so it's almost like receiving a hug from the inside out. It's a much different feeling than being with a generator. A generator is like a giant hug around you at all times. You feel them whenever they walk into a room. They have a high vibrating aura. Ours is very much different until you light us up, and then we penetrate and we go inside, and it is a much different experience. The other thing with that too is if there's 3 of us sitting here and these 2 were generators, one of them would already be offended because I am paying attention to one and not the other. But I can't. That's not my aura. I get one at a time. And so a lot of times we feel like somebody doesn't like us, and it's true. You know, if you got 2 people, one of them's not going to like you. It's just kind of the truth because you're ignoring them. And it's not because you are doing that intentionally. It's just you don't get more than one, guys. So it just kind of is what it is. We don't have as many friends and stuff like that because we have very penetrating auras. And so that's kind of where that comes in.
Yeah, just like I said earlier, whenever you go to a party, most projectors feel like we're being ignored at a party. Well, I have gone to parties before, and somebody would come up to me and I'd start talking to them. Well, I ended up talking to them all night long, and I think it was a great party. I'll go home, my partner will be like, Dana, there was a whole room there and you talked to one person. And I'm like, and I never understood that. But I always said, but I had a really good time. Dana, you didn't even talk to anybody. And then I realized once I started learning about being a projector, I can only really talk to one at a time. And we get into very in-depth conversations, whereas generators, they can just have fun and talk about the weather, right? Not quite like that with the projector. When we plug in, we want to talk very in depth. We want to get to, we just really want to talk about all kinds of things, but really in deep. We're very deep people.
You'll really notice that. You'll know right off the bat if you're talking to a generator or if you're talking to a projector, because a generator will be like, oh, look, did you see how the sun came out today? And they're kind of like the party animals. They are. They're just like the party animals that they're so satisfied in the moment. Whenever you talk to a projector, they're like, did you have a good childhood? They are like, we love to get in depth. Oh, have you heard about 5D? Have you heard about lucid dreaming? Like, we want to talk about the nitty gritty stuff, man. If you've got into like any knowledge, we're going to pry it out of you. We love to have deep conversations. We love to learn. And the other thing I want to touch on with the projector too is, as a projector, our entire being and the reason we're here is to study the other. Okay, so like a generator is actually here for themselves. They are here for self-love. They are here to love themselves. A projector is here to study them. And we're here to understand them. And we're actually here to understand the other. And so, yes, we need to love ourselves. Always love yourself. I'm never going to say that's not, but it is so much about studying the other. And if you notice, like, we love to people watch. I mean, oh my gosh, we're terrible. We just love.
I'm gonna interject right there.
Go for it.
The third way as a projector going to a party is, I was waiting for the right in on that one.
Yeah,
and this is it.
Mm-hmm.
When you not being ignored, when you already know what you're doing, you don't go to, oh, I'm being ignored.
Yes.
You're sitting there and going, wow, this is the one time I'm not talking. So guess what? I'm going to sit here and do a little research or investigating by sitting here and just paying attention.
Absolutely.
And people watch. And by the time I sit there long enough, if I'm smiling and happy and just watching everyone, and then I'm people watching like this, eventually it'll just attract
someone
that way right there. And when I don't want to try to find someone, it'll project out and they'll still find me even if I'm quiet.
Absolutely.
But being quiet sometimes in a party is, I've been taught by Scorpios, that's the best way to be able to scan the whole room and see everything and know what you're doing before you make your presence. That I like. I always thought that was kind of cool.
Well, that scanning that she said, that's a very much a projector trait.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
she's a
Another
projector Scorpio.
Yes, and the key with a projector is they have to wait for the invitation. Now, these are for big things in life, for your career, for marriage, for where you're going to live. You wait for this invitation. Sometimes you can wait forever. And, you know, you're
Hello,
waiting for
Dad.
this invitation. But if you don't wait for this invitation and you just go into a career that you were not invited into, that will not work out at all. And it won't. Try it. And it won't. Just like, you know, I'm moving to California. I don't know why, but I'm just going to go do it. Go ahead. You're probably going to be miserable. But if somebody invited you to California or you had some sort of an invitation somehow, totally different ballgame.
Right.
It will totally work out. So they always say, and that's why Nicole and I actually, you know, got into the RVs not only to decondition, like we said, we're all very conditioned by the others. It takes 7 years to decondition. But we're really living our design, and we've been waiting for an invitation. Even though we've been studying human design now for a while, we had to wait for the proper invitation, and that's when Renee came along and gave us a proper invitation, and that's why we're speaking today.
The other thing I want to talk about, whenever you're waiting for that invitation, that is not a time to necessarily be bored. That is a time to specialize. So,
Right.
like,
Master.
yes, the one is an investigator, but as a projector in general, you're an investigator. And you're going to want to figure out whatever you're interested in. You're going to have something. I am noticing right now there's a huge rise in guides stepping up to their plate. They're looking, we met one the other day that's looking at NLP. We met one the other day that's turning into a coach. All different things that I'd like them to maybe tweak a little bit. But besides the point, we are trying to step up and become guides because we are feeling the pull right now that we are changing into our actual roles. So, specialize in whatever is laid on your heart.
And mastering.
And mastering.
Because we have enough time to master something.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes it's
Well,
so much time.
Yes, and
take
it's
time.
because we're a lighthouse, the more you master, the brighter your light gets. That's how people know you, because we're a lighthouse, so we just attract people to us. But you want your lighthouse brighter? Master. Master is that word. Yeah, so I love that. In the downtime, what are you working on? What are you mastering?
Right.
So,
Because what are you going to do if you're only supposed to work a certain amount of time, which we could tap into? You know, what are you going to do on the other off time? Just like the manifester, I tell him his time to be divinely inspired. He's supposed to have his time to be by himself.
Absolutely. She mentioned there now a projector, because we're considered a non-energy type. Whereas like a generator, they create their own energy. So they're full of energy. They have to work like 40 hours a week to get rid of this energy so they can sleep at night. A projector, not so much. We don't create our own energy. So we are meant to work about 20 hours a week. And Nicole would say we also get the nap pass. We need naps.
Naps.
Now, to touch on that a little bit, Renee here is a little bit special of a projector because she actually has 4 motors. So
3, I think.
Three motors. 3 motors. So that's actually interesting. She has the root, the heart, and I think the solar plexus. Is the solar plexus
Yes.
an energy? Okay, so yes, she has the heart, the solar plexus, and the root. Having all 3 of those, she actually does have some sort of energy flowing through her body. Mother and I don't have any. So
we have none.
We like lots of naps. And honestly, like the other day, I was kind of like disappointed with myself. So I'm like, oh, I want to do some videos today, you know, and I wake up and I get out of bed and everything in my being, I was just exhausted for an entire day. And what I'm coming to, again, with my compassion, and bringing my compassion back up, because I just think this is so much about bringing compassion back to this world. I'm having compassion on myself because I feel like when that happens, that's my time to almost like re-energize, because it can take me that long sometimes. It can take me 24 to 48 hours to recover from being in a crowd for a day, you know, because a lot of times whenever I am shining so bright, it is constant people. Like this weekend is going to kill us. We're going to be looking out like forward for Monday and Tuesday, because we're going to be like, okay, we're going to take a step back and re-energize. So again, compassion on yourself. If you're tired, go take a nap. It's not a bad thing. Don't judge yourself for it. If you're not tired and don't want to do something for the day, rejuvenate. You know, and if it goes on for an extended period of time, maybe you might not have anything in your life that's igniting you, and that could be something going on too. But for the most part, sometimes it takes us some time, because you look at other people and you go, gosh darn it, that would be so nice to have that energy. Like,
well,
where do they get
You
it?
can use that. So
Yes.
you can use people
Yes.
as generators. So as I was saying, that's why I'm sitting in the middle. I said, let me sit in the middle. And right now this is a better example of what I was saying, because with all the energy generating, then I can give it to both of you by sitting right here.
Well, actually,
you guys will get some energy that you're exerting with two different things we're doing today.
Right, and projectors can a little bit like that, but really the projectors are here for the generators. And we can, what they call, plug into one generator at a time. So we can, when we plug into a generator, oh yeah, we can amplify their energy. We have a lot of energy. Now the key here is a lot of us are superstars as far as Olympic athletes and everything, because we are amplifying a generator's energy. Now we got a problem with that because we're not meant to do that. So it'll actually wear us out. Our adrenal glands are shot. You hear a lot about burnt out projectors. Now, I do believe this year, with the research that I've done, we are going to be losing a lot of projectors. There's just no doubt. They've had it. They've been living in a generator world that they were not designed to live in, and they weren't. So their adrenal glands are shot. Unfortunately, they will be leaving the planet by their choice. And I hate to say that, but if you're a projector and you feel that you're in that scenario, please reach out to us. We'll talk to you. I mean, if you don't have money or anything, don't even worry about that. We are here for you. I can't tell you, every time I come across a projector, I look them right in the eyes and I say, we're going to lose a lot of you. And every single time they all say, I thought of suicide. Every time. I haven't had a one yet that said, I haven't thought about leaving this planet. And it's because we're living in this generator world and we don't have the energy for this generator world, and we don't. But that's okay, because we are here for the generators. That's why human design is so important, because once you understand how special you are, how we all are so unique and so special, it makes it that much easier. I mean, don't you wish you had these cheat codes from the beginning? But you know what? You didn't. And it's okay. You're still here now, which is really cool, because everything that you went through will just make you stronger, better, and you'll be able to help more people. This might not sound the right way, but to somebody that has been raped, okay, they can help a lot of rape victims. Somebody like me that's never been raped, I couldn't probably help them as much as somebody that has. So if you're stuck in the past or anything with the past, you got to actually honor it. I'm not saying that you agree with what happened, but how do you make a horrible situation, and how do you make it better? And better yet than that, how do you help others with that horrible scenario to be better, right? So just wanted to mention that real quick. Didn't want to be a Debbie Downer there at all, but I had to reach out to my projectors because I'm worried about you guys. You guys are amazing. You really are. You just don't quite understand your aura. You think you've been ignored in this world, and you're just like, and you don't understand it's 40-hour week and it's killing you and go home exhausted, right?
If you're out there and you're up on your Facebook and you're on the internet, you can turn on a camera and do anything you want. So make your projector world your own. We have virtual reality and we have so much technology, but don't go running away down the technology road only. You still got to bring your own spirituality into anything and everything you're doing, right? But there's so much technology now. There's nothing to stop us. 20 years ago, she's just barely 20, maybe a little more than that. Let's see. My friend who's 20 years older than me said, when she started having metaphysical discussions with people in homes, they could have gone to jail for that.
Wow.
Okay, so, and that's just less than 50 years ago. Wow. So we have come so far, and all of us light workers out there that are projectors, we now have the internet. And once that internet came, to me, that freed us. It took the chains off, and it gave us the capability of doing anything we want to do. Because up until then, we were told we can't do that. And you guys are not. Our children, we'll tell you, go do it. And, because we were told we can't. So when you tell your children you can do anything, we'll finally be at that level.
Right.
Where everyone will be living their design, being empowered and helping everybody else. And then we'll be not only our soul family, but let's start talking about galactic family. Because when we all open up and we see everything and see what else is out there, we can start as a communal groups, our groups, to be able to help other planets and other civilizations and other beings. I mean, come on. There's so much more to think about out there, everyone. Come on. It's micro and macro. You learn yourself and then you get out there and just project it out as far as you can, right? I mean, it's just, we're all here. We all have a mission and we all do it a little differently. So
we do. One thing that we forgot to
projector.
We should always mention it, and this is something I remember to mention every time we go to speak, is this is a tool. And if what we want you to do is just experiment with your human design. That's it. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, forget about it. Find a different tool. And that's why I always say about, any spiritual teacher that is teaching, I always say, if you get goosebumps, you better pay attention. That's your truth, okay? But if what he's saying doesn't sound quite right or something, don't worry about it, right? This is just a tool that has really worked for, Nicole and I and a lot of people that we've introduced it to. But if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. But before you say it doesn't work, experiment with it. That's key. Experiment with it.
Yeah, do that. I've always said that. You can't say you don't like something if you haven't tried it.
Exactly.
And with this, there's no trying. You have to learn it.
You have to actually
you can say something. You have to experience it. You have to go out and actually apply it.
Yes, and we noticed also that she is an emotional projector. So do you want to go ahead and get into the emotional projector?
Sure, yeah. So the emotional, well, we're just going to forget the projector part because it doesn't matter. Emotional as an authority. So you could be a generator with emotional, a manifester, a projector, not a reflector. They're really special. We'll talk about
they're really special.
But you could be any of the types other than reflector, of course, and be emotional. So basically the way that I kind of like to explain the emotional thing is the emotional is like an energy that engulfs the planet, okay? Now, it's felt by a majority of the population. And it comes and it goes. Now, I'm not emotional, so I do not know it fully and completely. But I always say if you're not emotional, be very careful with them too, because they are also highly influenced and you always magnify it. So if you are not emotional being, something to really be hyper aware of, because most of the world is, okay? So as an emotional wave comes in and goes, there's going to be high points and there's going to be low points, and they're going to flow always, okay? So they're always going to be coming in, and you're actually connected to the world. And they're coming in like waves, okay? So now whenever you go to make a decision, you have to wait for a moment of clarity with the emotional wave. This could take a day. This could take a year. It is so important to sit with this wave, because there's going to be a fraction of a moment where you're going to be like, oh, you're going to have some sort of clarity. They say that the max clarity that you can get is about 70%. So you're always going to be feeling it. You're always going to be feeling the planet. I've also noticed that I think emotional people are a little bit more in tune, psychic, almost, because I think it's because they're attached to that wave and you are connected to others so much. But like I said, if you're not emotional also, it's something to be hyper aware of, because you do amplify if that's wide open. And so you tend to, if I come in contact with her, so she's, just by being in contact with her, she's going to light me up in my emotional wave, right? So I may go home tonight and I'll be like a little sad or something, and then I'll be really sad or something. That's not my emotion, and I have to release it. It doesn't actually bother her as much as it does me, because she is constantly riding the wave and she understands that. And it's a beautiful thing, because you are connected to the entire planet, and it's so strong around the planet. And so many people are emotional. And that's those people that you're constantly hearing, like, be in touch with your emotions, is so true for an emotional. For anyone else, it does not work. If I were to listen to my emotions, I would be in a whole different playing field, because they're not my emotions. I would be listening to someone else's. And so understanding that some people are emotional and some people are not. Again, that's where my compassion comes back in, right, guys? For her to make a decision, she needs to sit with it. She needs to feel it out and wait for that moment of clarity. That's compassion right there. And then if I need to step away because somebody is emotional, it's also something to be understanding too, because for me, it like almost I harness it and take it on. So understanding that emotional wave is really, really important because so many people do have it and it's such a strong force around this planet. Also, if you get in touch with those emotional waves and you truly start riding them right, and you play more with the positive emotions, you actually start to transform this around the planet. So it's so powerful being an emotional being, because not only are you impacting yourself, you are impacting the planet. So just by understanding those emotions and riding them and being okay with them, having the compassion behind them and loving them, embracing them, you impact the entire planet. So it's a very strong and powerful authority to have.
I didn't think I could do that until just recently, because I've been changing my mindset to be more positive. So only because I've done that can I see that that's actually positive or possible.
Yes.
I didn't think that was. I thought that with my church that I would need, the group to, the full energy to go in and make a difference, and we did. But I know one person can make a difference. But when one person is at their highest vibrational point, mastering, walking around full of love, got to be able to not just affect everybody else, but the planet and everybody on it, or the band of love that I learned that with the group is out there. So that's been recently my latest thing, is to say one person can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Yes. Is it Wayne Dyer that says that one person affects like 150,000 people around the world, something like that, and one person vibrating at this level, on this level? Oh, the numbers are just absolutely amazing. But I love what she said about relationships, because, I'm splenic, right? So my truth is in the now, right? So I was with an emotional partner. Can you imagine that, being with an emotional partner? They need time. I don't understand time. My truth is right now. I don't get it. Let's go. But in the same token, and she was always,
I was going to say.
That's
Same way here, a
manifestor.
manifestor with an emotional projector mother.
Right.
We need to have patience with an emotional, and we need to understand that he doesn't understand that at all.
I don't.
And so you have to be compassionate with that, because it's such a different authority in the way that you make decisions. The way you're going to live your life is bipolar opposite than your son.
Absolutely.
There's nothing in common, really. I mean, other than you guys both have willpower, which is really impressive.
That's rare.
That's very rare.
So
and
when
that's
we get together,
cool.
we manifest, and he's a manifester, so we manifest on big scale.
Yes, you can, absolutely. If you're on the right track and everything like that, and your emotions are in the right spot in the exact moment, anything is absolutely possible. But I love pointing that out with the relationships. I think that is so important, because I have ironically chosen for my past 2 serious relationships an emotional generator, and so I have been fighting a lot of conditioning that I have been getting out in me, because I am not an emotional being, and I am completely open. I don't even have a single gate or anything in my solar plexus. So a lot of the emotions and how hormonal I thought I was being, I was blaming on myself, and I put a lot of blame on me whenever I was actually absorbing my partner, who I was sleeping with at night. And as a generator projector relationships, sharing a bed is probably not the best interest at hand there, just because that's a constant conditioning. So again, different things like that. Again, just having that compassion behind who you're dealing with in that moment. You don't know who they are unless you read their chart. We're very invasive now. As soon as we meet someone, I mean, I've been in this house for, a day, and I've read everybody's charts. I that's what I do now. I read everybody's charts so that I can be compassionate and understand a little bit better of how to help them, because we all are different. We are so unique, and it's so vital to understand that.
If we could walk around with our charts like this, right? Wouldn't it be great if we could? Because if we didn't know what, we weren't living our design, and anyone could just see it. Instead, we could just walk around with our Astro chart and our human design chart, and I'm trying to be me.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't that be great? Oh my goodness.
My dream is to do a retreat, which we have launched on projectorguides.com. We have a free retreat if you do 8 coaching sessions. I'm going to do a total immersion retreat. it's something that I know that we can do. I know that we can figure this out and have different activities for different people. But more importantly, we are gonna just wear a name badge that says your authority, your profile, and your type, so that whenever you do go up to somebody, you can treat them appropriately for who they are. And how different would that be if someone comes up to you and they already know everything about you? Whenever you're talking to someone, you can change how you're wording to fit them.
Right.
Because so many times we try and push ourselves on somebody because that's how I work. You know, it's not like that for someone else. Every single person's different. And so if we can actually learn to interact with these total immersion retreats, which the date will be disclosed soon, I think it can make a huge difference.
Right. So see, what we're learning here too is how our aura works, because everybody's aura works a little bit different. So I think ultimately, I love that Nicole just keeps saying it. It comes back to compassion. And you say, well, why do we need to know anything? Why shouldn't we just be compassionate? No, totally agree with that 1,000%. But like, I won't get offended, like, you know, because he's a manifestor. If he just gets up and leaves, maybe he's not interested in that. Or I won't get upset when two generators start talking and I'm standing here going, wait a minute, what's going on here? You know, or vice versa, when there's two generators and I start talking to one of them, that hopefully this one now, the other one wouldn't get upset. So it kind of helps understanding a little bit better, which makes compassion even that much easier. Maybe that's what
Exactly. Because whenever you actually understand where they're coming from, the compassion is more natural. A lot of times I feel like we try and almost force compassion. Oh, well, thank you about his life or anything like that. It could be different. And we try to almost talk ourselves into having compassion. This is different. This is genuine compassion because you actually understand. It makes sense. And granted, that's my projector side of me coming out a lot.
It shouldn't just make sense, does it? It makes sense to all of us.
Projectors got
projectors.
We always want to talk about it, but it's so much. It's just so understanding behind it. We should probably move on to generators. We've already been on here for 15 minutes.
Oh, geez, go for it. Don't worry about the time.
Generators.
We get to do what we want to do. Remember, this is ours. But that's a perfect segue. See you later, sweetie. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye, manifestor. Love you. Thank you.
Generators. Okay, so generators are little balls of love. That's what I always say. I'm
little
like,
balls of love.
They are. They're just these little auras of love. Whenever you feel them, you know it. I mean, they're the ones that come into the room and light up the whole room. They're the ones that come in and give everyone a big hug. They're the ones that are party animals, and they want to be around everyone all the time. They love to be around people. They don't like their alone time very much. In fact, they don't even like to say themselves, which you're kind of supposed to as a generator. Besides the point.
No, there's a concert tonight.
Oh, I gotta go to that. Can't miss out.
That's a generator.
They love to be together. Generators are magnetized to each other. They love to talk and they'll talk about some shallow stuff too, man. I'll tell you what, they can talk about a movie for an hour. I mean, that's just how they are. It's not a bad thing by any means or anything like that. It's who they are. They love to be with people. They love to be around people. They have this amazing, loving aura. They are an absolute joy to be around. They are, because they're the fun ones. They are. They have a big engulfing aura. Just being in their aura, it engulfs you. It's huge, and it's all around them.
Right over.
And they can, whenever they're standing in a group, their aura is affecting everyone in the group. So everyone is getting a hug. Whereas a projector penetrates one and gives them a hug from the inside out. Do you see the difference? So this is a constant aura all around the entire group, and it's all around. So it's a very much a different aura type altogether.
Definitely.
You want to go with that?
Well, I was just going to say, and they're about 70% of the population. So there's a lot of generators. They're actually considered the worker bees of the world. They really are. Because they're so full of energy, they need to expend, they need to get rid of all this energy. So they need to work 40 hours a week. The only problem is they need to work a job they really love for 40 hours a week, not one that they're just doing just because they have to for money. So big difference there. And I think that's where the projectors can come in and help a generator, maybe possibly figure out what would make them happy, what type of a job, and different things like that. But they need to get rid of that energy. They really do. They just will not sleep well at night. They're just so full of energy. Now, there's two different types of generators. There's one that's called a manifesting generator, and there's another one that's just what we call the pure generators, or just generators. And it's about an equal 35% split, although I think it's 36-34. But the manifesting generators, they definitely have, I think you'll notice a little bit more energy, believe it or not, than just a pure generator.
And a little more
they really
focused, I noticed.
A little bit more focused because they're actually part manifestor, part generator, but definitely more generator. Now, if we read your chart, though, there are some that connect a little bit more with the manifestor side of it. The majority, though, will definitely more towards a generator. Now, a manifesting generator, what was I going to say about the manifesting generator? I just lost my train of thought. Where I was going.
Extra energy.
We want me to say the past?
It's a little more like a manifest.
What were you
You want to say the past? What past do they get?
No, we shouldn't allow her to say that. No, I wasn't going there with the. I might allow her to say that. No, that wasn't where I was going with the manifesting generators. But yeah, I know what I was going to say. The manifesting. Okay, generators in general. When they are not operating properly, they feel frustration, okay? Whereas a manifesting generator can feel anger also, as well as frustration, because they're kind of both sides. How do you know? This goes according to what they call your strategy and your authority. So your strategy is the manifesting generator. Your authority is, we keep talking about like emotional or splenic, there's different types like that. And if they're not following that, so you always know, as a generator, what you're feeling because of what you'll feel like. Where a projector, we forgot to mention that if they're not following their authority, like my authority is splenic. If my splenic says go this way and I go that way, I'm going to feel bitterness. Okay, that's what a projector, some projectors can actually taste a bitterness, like my daughter, who's like a self-projected, which is a lot of the throat. She can actually taste the bitterness. And we mentioned a manifestor, if they don't, if they can feel that anger, right? So a generator feels that frustration, whereas a manifesting generator can possibly feel both the anger and the frustration.
Oh, that's a bummer.
And the manifesting generator, like Nicole said, is definitely a little bit more focused. And all right, we'll let her talk for a second.
Okay, so a manifesting generator, you are very energetic and very focused. The thing about a manifesting generator is you are here to experience life, okay? So...
should I allow her to say this? I'm not so sure. Is this a private group?
Yeah, well, kind of, yes.
Manifesting generators get the horror pass.
Uh-oh.
Susie says ho, not whore. Woo, you went overboard on that one. See the water? I almost lost the water out of my mouth.
I'm clueless. You guys didn't tell me you were going to do this.
I just say the word.
Well, where's the hoe pass?
The hoe pass. The hoe pass. Okay, so you're here to experience this world, okay? So, like, for a manifesting generator to, like, stay celibate till marriage or something like that, like, it's a terrible decision. And in fact, a manifesting generator, if you talk to them, many of them have slept around because they can't experience someone until they experience them. They need to experience every part of that relationship to even get a taste of it, to know if they're interested. So, I mean, one of my really good friends, he cracks me up all the time. I swear he's got a new man every minute I meet him. I talk to him, and that's how they work. You know, if you go buy a car, you have to test drive every car in the dealership. You have to experience every car in the dealership. It's just how they work. I don't know what it is about you guys, but you guys are here to experience this world and to harness it, whatever that means. And so it means that you go out there and try new things, go do new things. I'm not going to promise that they're going to work, but you got to try because you're here to go experience, which is pretty much opposite of a pure generator. A pure generator is much more about just being so in love with themselves and just sitting with themselves and being a part of themselves, that their aura becomes a magnet, which is also true for the manifesting generators. But they're really just here to just kind of just be this love aura. Like I said, like they're so loving and they're just kind of here and they're just open. They're a little bit more all over the place. A pure generator also deals with contracts. So be very careful as a generator, a pure generator, you accept a job, you signed a contract with them. So for you to get out of that job it's not going to be easy, and it can be detrimental. It can explode in your face. It's going to take some time to get out of it. So be very, very picky and listen to your authority whenever you sign a contract. Now, manifesting generator, again, kind of on the opposite here, because they'll probably explode in their face, but they don't really care because they're going to go on to the next thing, you know? And so it's kind of, they kind of have more permission to like quit and start something new, or just again experiencing, whereas a generator is not so much that. The generator is a very true being of living a life and not very much change or anything like that. They're here to just completely be satisfied in this moment. And so the other thing I always like to touch on with the generators that I have been experimenting with, and I always throw it out there, I have noticed a lot of shamans are generators, pure generators. Now the manifesting generators do seem to have pretty good communication to the other side, but it seems to me, and this is totally an experiment, guys, that the pure generators really seem to have the shamanic nature behind them. And I've met some really cool shamanic Reiki masters, even straight edge generators that I talk to that don't even believe in anything spirituality wise. I always just ask, you know, have you ever seen anything? Do you hear voices? And every time I ask, they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. It's so common for them. Yeah. So again, that's my observation. But yeah.
What's their strategy?
Their strategy is to respond to life. Their aura is going to magnetize everything to them. Now, whenever it comes to them, just respond. And you can either be sacral or emotional. We already talked about sacral, or emotional. So now we'll touch on the sacral. The sacral is very much almost like splenic, only it's more of a verbal vibration that will come out of your mouth. So whenever your sacral speaks, it grunts and it groans almost. So a lot of times with the sacral, whenever you ask them, do you want to go to the movies? They're going to go, uh-huh, or they're going to go, uh-uh. There's going to be some sort of a grunt or a groan that actually comes out of their voice box. Wow. And it's very important for them to listen to that. And so if they go, whenever it said, uh-uh, it's not going to work out right. So listening to that is very important. And there's only two types. There's only emotional, there's only sacral for generators. You will be one or the other if you are a manifesting generator or a generator. But you guys are here just to respond to life. Love yourself. Be satisfied every single moment of this day. And that aura will actually just bring everything to you all the time, constantly. That's what it's there for. Your aura is there to work for you. You're not here to work. You're here to just let the aura bring it to you, and then it'll present those opportunities. You're going to have a job that you love where you feel comfortable signing that contract if you're listening to your authority and you're actually letting that aura work for you.
Yeah. And the last one that we will go over, just to get it in here real quick, is we have one of our favorite friends is actually what they call a reflector. Now, go ahead. You love the reflectors.
Just because I love Denise.
She's amazing.
She's my favorite person, which I think is a compliment to Mom and I. That every time that we're around her, we just love her. If you are a reflector, your chart is completely white. You have nothing except for a couple gates. Other than that, your aura is blank, and your body graph is blank, and your aura is almost like Teflon. What's ironic about that is, say we had a reflector here, okay, and this house's energy wasn't quite right. They would mirror whatever's happening in that environment, so they would act funny. Now, what's interesting about that is it doesn't actually affect them because they have that Teflon aura, right? So as weird as that sounds, it doesn't affect them. Right. But they do need to be in a place and have time to themselves to where they can be themselves and get in a different place. So they need a time to get that out and everything like that. Their strategy is just the lunar.
The lunar cycle.
You guys have a lunar cycle. If you are a reflector, man, it's something else.
Luckily, well, not luckily, but it's only 1% of the population. So it is really tough to come across a reflector. But they're here to show society how society is doing or whatever environment they're in. They're going to reflect it back. It's pretty amazing. I know twin reflector, where the one reflector, the twin is in a very dark, bad scenario. He's reflecting that back. The other twin is in more of a light being, and she's reflecting that back. So it was very interesting with the twins, but it's 1% of the population. Now, what is up with this lunar thing you're talking about?
Okay, so their authority is their lunar. Is that their authority or is that their strategy? So strategy.
Yeah.
Their strategy. Their strategy is to wait for the lunar cycle. What that means is for any big decision that a reflector wants to make, they need to wait for the full moon.
28 days.
28 days between.
Wow. Wow. I could never do that. How could I wait 28 minutes, let alone 28 days?
It's for the big things. It's for the move.
Yeah.
It's for the career. It's for the marriage.
Okay.
So it's just the big things we're
That's
talking
scary.
about. It's like the projector when you say wait for the invite.
Right.
It's for the big things we're talking about there.
Okay. All right.
For the
That
big
makes more
things.
sense.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to lighten that either, though, because if it's big in their mind in any way, shape, or form, that's a big decision. So even if it's they didn't know about this friend or they didn't know about this guy that they were looking at or anything like that, that could be a big decision, and they do need to wait. So we always are giving Denise crap, like, are you out there making your decisions? Did you wait about your decisions? You know, making sure that she's waiting for these full moons because it's a big deal. They are actually, I guess their bodies are connected to the lunar cycles, and it's incredibly important for them to pay attention to that.
A wonderful friend who's a reflector, so I can't wait to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, plus my sister is one.
Oh,
wow.
So yeah, I know.
That's so rare to
But
find one.
with a person I'm mentoring right now, she is, and we were going to do a human design discussion. She was going to be it, and I had somebody else that had the whole chart lit up. So I had someone that had none, and then I had someone with everybody. So we were trying to get them all, but it just didn't pull together. So that's okay because we're doing this. So it's all working out.
Yes.
But there's two, and then one, so that's three, and so it's only 1%, right? So for the combination of us to know, or for me to know two.
Well,
For me to know two, that's
and
pretty
cool.
cool.
And we have three because I have the twins.
Right. Okay.
The twins and then Denise.
Yeah, so that's 5 altogether.
That's a lot.
That's covering a lot if there's only 1%, but we just now hit 8 billion. Okay,
Good
so
point.
what's 1% of 8 billion?
Good point.
800,000?
Anybody quick with math?
I don't know. Is it 800,000?
I think something like
8 million? Good. It'd be 80,000, one or the other.
80,000, but I'm not sure.
We'd hope it's 8,000.
Yeah.
No, but 8 billion, right? So it has to be. Can't be 8 million, can it? So that's why I went for 800,000. And I'm good with math. Why can't I figure that out right now? I was like, meh.
It's a lot of zeros.
Anyway, it sounds like a lot more when you do it that way.
Yes, it is. It is. I mean, it's still a decent amount of people, and Denise is a little fairy. We just love her. Oh my God, she's like seriously one of my favorite people in this whole wide world. But she chose a great environment. She's actually in Sedona, Arizona.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
So she's in a great place. So if you're a reflector, what's your environment? I can't stress how important that is. If you've got a toxic family, man, get somewhere happy because you're not even going to know that you're doing it. You're just going to become it. And that's kind of what's crazy about that. And so you literally are a mirror for your environment. And I can't stress that enough. You're very important for society. But you also want to enjoy your life. So, environment is vital. to your existence.
And I asked this friend of mine who just came in, because all I know is my sister, and my sister's alien. So I asked her, are you alien too? She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, do you have difficulties? Oh, no, I've been great. I'm like, well, then what was your environment? You know, it's, oh, it was great. You know, I'm like, well, then that must be it. So I kind of figured it out by talking to two of them. But they're very different, totally different. So she sounds a little more like what you're talking about. My sister just is the alien.
Oh, perfect.
So that's all. So that's just all there is. And that's what I like to say to people, is that we, the children, choose our parents, and we want that conditioning somehow. That's why we chose them. But when we become adults, we choose our own environments, and we choose who we're going to surround ourselves with after that.
Absolutely.
Right. So it all pulls together. And my sister just is like, literally doesn't even fit in her body. Do you know those people that just don't like fit in to a human suit? You can tell they're trying to scoot.
That's Denise.
No, just the opposite. She can't.
Oh.
She can't do anything. She can't drink anything but water. Nothing tastes right. Nothing smells right.
Wow.
Nothing is right. She's just very different, and I blamed it on the reflector. But it's not. She's literally trying to fit into this environment.
Yeah.
Because we have all of our wonderful beings and light workers, but don't forget, we do have other beings that do come in. Because I think that with astrology, we've got like 12 different lifetimes. So what about the other people that are from other civilizations that decided, okay, I want to be human now? And they want to go through their 12 times. So the first time they come in, wouldn't a reflector be kind of like a brand new person? And that's why I'm going with. Because a reflector has nothing, and they're really learning, and isn't that what a reflector is? Because this is actually a question. They're learning from everybody else?
That's the
They're
greatest wisdom is, but their main job, go ahead.
Well, they're not learning from others.
I don't understand it, so teach me.
Their aura is actually Teflon.
That's what you said.
It lights.
Nothing hurt her.
Yeah, it lights them up, but
Yeah,
they don't even know that they're mirroring. They just naturally do it. It doesn't affect their being. They just get into that scenario and naturally become that. So for them to be able to figure out who they are, they need to remove themselves entirely. Or if they're not fitting in, their body's probably freaking out, because that is not their environment. Get them out of there. You want to see what's going on here, guys? None of us fit in our bodies. Like, that's what they're mirroring of their environment. So
that's right.
For some reason, she's not comfortable in her environment. She's so uncomfortable that it's affecting her eating habits. It's making her life miserable. And she probably has no idea why, but it's literally, their bodies naturally become their environment.
And no clue until reflector, all of a sudden, like, oh my goodness, I have some way to explain my sister. Her life, I've never seen it, and I tried to do the best I could, but I'm only one person, and I couldn't help her. I tried, but, you know, I had more of a normal life, and she had definitely a very abnormal life. And the worse she got, the worse she projected out and manifested even more. So she got more introvert, more insecure, and she would suck her thumb. So literal, like till she was 13. So then her teeth came out, and kind of buck teeth. So then she got teased all the time. Constantly teased. She was one of those people on the bus that was always teased. Always. And no matter what I tried to do to help, I couldn't stop the whole bus. And if I wasn't there, it still happened. So she just was just constantly miserable in her own little place. And you couldn't help her because there was nothing you could do. Maybe. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer now either. Right? But maybe if someone had come along that understood human design, could have maybe helped our family a little more to understand that she's just, you know, not alien. Because I just tell my mom, she's just alien. That's how you deal with it. Mom, it wasn't you. It was not me. She's just different. You know, let's just deal with it that way. You know, trying to come up with the best way. But when you come up with this, a whole nother side thing, and say, yes, she's different. She's only 1%.
That's right.
You know, and here we're different. We're the projectors at the 20%. And, you know, now we're looking at another one that's only 1%. And I was looking at a 7% with my son. So
yeah,
it really is hard to understand, especially what reflectors are like.
Yes.
And if you do not have compassion, you'll want to just beat them up and say, get the heck out of my
That's
face.
right.
Because they will come at you and come at you and come at you and come at you. And they don't even know that, like, why do you do that? I don't know. You gotta know. I don't know. Yes, you do. You gotta know. You can't do that. And, you know, I mean, it's so difficult, my mother and me. So we're like, she's just bouncing between the two of us all the time. We're trying to figure out, you know, my mother being a generator and me being a projector and her being a reflector. It was like, it was constant, and we were always trying to figure out how to help her the best way we could, and trying to be more compassionate instead of angry, because you lose all your ability to be able to help someone if you get angry.
Right.
So if you don't have that compassion, I grew up and got more mature and got more compassionate for her, and after feeling sorry, then I was able to try to start helping her. Then when I found out what reflector was, it was like, oh my God, now I can finally try to do something, and she's so far gone, I don't even know how to find her anymore. You know,
Well,
she's just.
I'd look at what is her behavior, because that's what's wrong in her environment.
Well, now she chooses to live with someone else under a bridge. She does not want to live anywhere with anybody other than the one companion she found. So for her to find a good companion, that's probably the most important thing. And I'm happy that she has that. But they just do not want to conform to anything. So talk about, they don't even have a vehicle. They don't drive. My sister could never drive.
Wow.
She could never function. She's kind of immature.
Wow.
So I know I'm taking another level, but we're on reflectors now. So, and since we all know one, right? It's very rare if you're out there dealing with that, right? Then all the more reason to talk to a human design practitioner to help you to understand how different life is for reflectors. If you are one, I want my friend who's the reflector. This is one of the things I'm hoping you're watching this. If not, I'm going to be sending it to you. And at this point, when you're watching it, it's for you, honey, my reflector friend, because I'm sure they would love to talk to you, and they can give you, because she's going through just tons of stuff right now, and she needs a week or 2 or 3 when she's going through stuff before she can stop and talk to me, and I just let her go. But I didn't know it was 28 days. So I can only really talk to her. I should only really schedule talking to her once a month.
There you go. Well, you know, it is amazing too to see an actual reflector living their design.
Exactly.
And how amazing Denise is. She's actually living her design. And then to see another one that isn't, which I've been able to witness that, and plus her twin, and I've been able to witness that. And what happens, and oh my gosh,
and
the
she's
difference.
Trying to live. She's close to living. She's thinking about just changing her whole life again. And I'm like, well, just wait. So my answer was correct on that one, right?
Yeah,
but just wait a minute until you're not emotional, because I could feel all the emotion. So I'm like, just let it chill for a little while when you're not so upset, and let's see what we can, you know, I'm here for you. Just reach out, you know.
Yeah, the number one thing for her is her environment. Her environment is her life. She will die without the proper environment. That's just what it is.
It's incredibly vital. And I think, you know, they're here to show us what's wrong. So we need to respect that. So if she's, you know, on the back of the bus getting made fun of,
that was wrong.
Something's wrong in the environment. The kids are being inappropriate.
She needed to be out of that environment.
She needed to be homeschooled. She needed to be in a better school or a better group of friends.
We couldn't do that back then.
Sure. Yeah, I totally understand.
But I did that with my kids because we had to. I saw why. I saw what happened. Sometimes interacting isn't good when you're being bullied. I mean, that's like, that bullying is horrible. Now we know with cyberbullying and bullying's come full forward. Yes. So absolutely.
Well, we know that because Nicole was telling the story about my grandson getting the broken collarbone. He was pushed. Yeah, he was by a bully, and she didn't mention that, but he was pushed by a bully.
I didn't. I totally left that out. But yeah, I love reflectors, and I have a lot of compassion for reflectors, and I can't stress enough how thank you for being who you are, because we need you.
Absolutely.
It's how we know how we're doing. I mean, it's whenever you see a hurting reflector, something's wrong with everyone. Something's wrong. You know, a reflector probably shouldn't be watching TV like ever.
Agreed.
Or even movies. I don't even know if that's safe for them to do.
Unplug.
They really need to unplug and be in their environment that they feel is a beneficial environment, because if they are watching the news and they're soaking up the negative that's going on in the world instead of the positive, they're going to reflect that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they get hit hard. Your other friend who is a reflector, she gets hit hard all the time, and she struggles greatly on a daily basis.
Yes.
And again, it's her environment. It's because of the people she surrounds herself with, and it's also her husband. And it's all just stuff that, you know, that you think that you want in your life, but as a reflector, it's so incredibly vital to be understanding of that. And so, I mean, I don't even know much advice other to do for a reflector unless
Really focus on environment. Really change your environment to be where you want to be.
And your friends.
Who are your
Everything.
friends?
Yeah.
How about your
reflect to them.
health? Well, is there anything with the health back
No, ironically, I don't think so, because of that Teflon aura.
Okay.
So as weird
I know
as it
that's a whole
is,
other thing.
yeah,
I
but it's
just
not.
wanted to touch a little
Not like
bit.
projectors.
It's not
Yeah.
really
Right. It's
affecting
different.
their being.
Right, isn't it?
It's so
Right.
weird. Like, they have a Teflon aura. Like,
Right.
we're
How
really
can
empathic. Like, it's very different, but for some reason, they literally just mirror it. It's not even really affecting them. Like, whenever you talk to her, she probably wasn't even that upset about it. She probably was just kind of like, well, I don't
Oblivious
know.
most of the time.
See,
It doesn't
yes.
really affect them.
I know, and I'm like empathic. I was feeling everything. Going, what is going on?
How are you not upset? Like, I would be crying. I'd be locked in my room. Yeah, but you were hurt, but for some reason she really wasn't, because it doesn't actually affect her. It's a very odd type.
Yeah.
Not to mention, okay, so I was awake at like 4. So I'm out astro traveling, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, being a projector and having lots of friends and doing all kinds of wonderful stuff. She's in the other room freaking out doing her stuff. So when I finally did a chart on her, in her astrological chart, I could actually see she actually had more tendencies to be more psychic than I was, as awake as I was. But because she was a reflector, she was not even in maybe the Taurus a little bit. She just wasn't open to it. She would not even go down there, and being immature, she never could really focus enough to start really working on herself. And I would hope that she would by now, but I'm sure she hasn't. Because she's just different. So I'm so glad I got another reflector to see the difference.
Absolutely.
You know,
When you
because
see one working,
they're doing
the proper.
their thing.
Oh, in the proper way.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
But
She's
I
like a
know
little
she's
fairy.
I know she's an alien, and they're just around, and they're just
They are.
rare.
They're all
They're just
radiant.
so rare, you know. And she's perfectly okay to come into our family. You know, she fit
Yeah.
right into our weird family just fine. You know, it's just the 3 of us. You know, my mom and I, my sister. So we all do. That's the big thing. We all choose our parents. I think that's the first responsibility step.
Yeah.
You know, we chose our life and our environment, whether you want to understand or not. But if you can get into understanding your chart and your charts, you can understand why you might have done that, to really understand how to set yourself up to prepare yourself for your journey that you want on a bigger scale. It takes away all the blame and the anger and the bitterness and all those things when you accept your own responsibility, and then you start realizing who you are, and then start applying it and living that design.
Absolutely.
Which changes your whole life. And when you can get your mindset wrapped around it and start changing your mindset to a positive way, that's the new 5D Earth. We are now trying to project and help all of you out there to live that kind of a wonderful dream that we all have. But we all know that this is a real life dream. This is called 5D Earth now. Mm-hmm. This is being who you are, speaking your truth, and knowing who you are, and going out and helping as many people as you can, actually just by being you, because then it becomes effortless.
Absolutely.
And effortless is happy, flowing, joyful, serenity, and just flow. We all know how important, no matter how spiritual woo-woo you are, flow is important. Flow.
Absolutely.
But then I go, I'm doing my thing, aren't I? I'm being emotional, or attached to the ground and grounded in, and knowing that flow. I know it. I feel it all the time, that the emotions roll with our tides, with our moon. So attached to the moon. I always thought that emotional wave that you're talking about was my moon, everything that's cancer, but you can categorize things in who you are into different ways, because astrology is a correlation, so is human design.
Absolutely.
It's just looking at it from black and white and bones and 2 or 3D versus 5D with all the extra energies that you can bring into it.
Yes.
So
right.
We've actually got some questions here.
Wonderful.
I know, isn't it nice? Just one, mostly from Rhonda, because she's been hanging out, and there's 2 of them right now watching. And so she said, isn't that amazing? Oh my goodness, I'm understanding so much about people now. Thank you, ladies, for all that you do. And then just yes again. So thank you, Rhonda. We wanted to put a little, love you out there. And she's like, wow, wow, wow. Okay, so her question was, could you please explain inner authority, splenic, profile 3-5? Thank you.
We touched on splenic in the beginning about how you are about survivalist. You are a survivalist, and you're going to have that fleeting feeling when it happens. You can't plan your life out. It's not like that you're going to know what you want in that moment when it happens. Work on your lymphatic system. It's incredibly important. It's how you're going to know. You're going to learn how to actually be in touch with your lymphatic system. So get in tune with your lymphatic system. Like I said, don't ignore it, because then once it happens, it's gone. So if you missed it, you're going to numb it down, numb it down, numb it down. So make sure that every time that you feel it, it's a yes or a no in the moment, only in the moment. Listen to it. If you don't listen to it, it's going to go away.
Also, your adrenal glands, or be careful of your adrenal glands. Also, listen very intently with your right ear if you want to know whether somebody's telling you the truth or not. We're very splenic, but it's with your right ear. Yes. So go with the 3-5 there.
The 3-5. Well, the 3 is the bumper.
Yep.
So you also share that with Renee.
Yes, bumpers.
You're bumpers, man. You're just gonna do things and it's not gonna work out. You're gonna do something else, it's not gonna work out, and you're just gonna have all these experiences. And that's what it's about. You're gonna just kind of collect them, man. You're just gonna have like a whole book of everything that's happened to you in your life. Not a bad thing or anything like that. Again, just have fun with that. That's fun. You get to have a lot of experiences. I'm a part of that. I'm a 4-6, but my 6 reduces to a 3 in the first part of my life. So for my first 30 years, I have been bumping, and I have done everything from test drive vehicles to work in a maximum security prison with all males. Okay, I've done terrible things, crazy things. Okay, we do it. Again, I've been collecting my stories. I've been collecting my experiences. I've moved like 13 times in 10 years. I move all the time. Like, it's just, it happens, and that's how we do this. We experience, and you collect them, and then you share them.
So wait a minute. So that's the first 30 years. Then what happens from 30 to 50?
Well, that's for the 6. She wasn't asking about the 6.
Oh, okay.
She's a 3.
She's a 3. I'm sorry.
But yeah, we're talking about the 3. And then she's a 3-5.
Lucky 6s. You should throw that out real quick. The 6 gets to not be a bumper anymore.
Yeah.
After 30, we go up on the roof, is what they call it. And we get to like almost settle down and observe and kind of learn from that. So that's whenever most of us will settle down and get married, have kids, get a steady job, that kind of thing. And then at age 50, we actually come off of the roof, and then we're here to share.
Nice.
But she's a 3, so you're a bumper.
So you're a bumper for the rest of your life.
And she said she does it with a smile.
Absolutely.
She plays with it, and that's fun.
It is, and that's how you relate to others. You can only relate to someone if you had the experience itself. So it's a beautiful thing to have. She's also the 5, which that is the heretic, which is like, I always like to say like the savior complex almost. You naturally have people come to you and know that you can solve their problems. They're going to be drawn to you. The flip side to that is, if things go awry, you're the one crucified at the end of it, because it's all your fault. You told them to do it. Oh my gosh. Again, laughing matter. It's going to happen. Don't let it hurt your feelings. Don't let it knock you out. It's not about that. It's okay. It's going to happen. Somebody's got to take the heat for it, and it's going to be you. It's not your fault. Don't blame yourself for that. But be very grateful for that, because people are naturally attracted to you through your aura, that you can help them. And what she was a projector?
Yep, I just got to it. She's
yeah,
a projector.
So
Just
as
found that.
a projector,
Oh, she's a projector.
that is also good though too, because you do have the inner knowledge, you do have that wisdom. Make sure that you only ask questions to those generators. Don't give that advice for free. You know, don't just give it to them. They're gonna know that you have it for them. So be willing to use what you know, because you do know what their answer is. Use that into a strategic question to guide them to their truth, because they're going to naturally come to you and know that you have the answer. So love that, embrace that, and use those tricky, smart questions. You're very intelligent and you have the answer for them. So use those questions and be very quiet whenever you ask those questions until they respond. And whenever they respond, every once in a while, you will just see those gears click out of nowhere, and they're going to go, oh. So that's definitely a good part of her chart.
And girl, take a nap.
And girl, take a nap. Absolutely.
You're allowed to take a nap.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you work, take a nap, you work a little more, and then you inspire all night, or you meditate, or whatever it is that you self-care.
Self-care. Self-care is definitely key. Yes.
And check out those adrenal glands.
For me, it's a hot
Well,
tub.
and for her, it's adrenal glands and the lymphatic system,
Yeah.
because you are splenic. Those are two very vital systems for you. Again, with that splenic too, right off the bat, that is a natural, because it's lit up, it is a feel-good feeling that you're going to have constantly. Be very careful with that, because they are the ones that get, once they finally give in to going to the doctor, it usually is something so advanced that it's not even curable. But people would have seen it in them, because the body will show it. So if someone asks you, hey, are you feeling okay? Acknowledge that. Go check in the mirror. Go, you know, feel your body and try and see if something might be off or something like that, because that feel good can definitely hide something that may be going on with your body. So lymphatic system, adrenal glands, and listen to what other people say to you.
She says, I take naps. Good.
Yes.
That's what I do, naps. Oh, yes, laughing. That's what I do, naps.
Good for
and she's
her.
like, yes, and she's got like about 8 to 10 exclamation points. So she's very happy. I'm glad we could take care of you. Somebody else came in at first and said we could use her chart, but she didn't know how to get it over here, and that was Alicia Hudson.
Oh, that's my girl. Alicia was on here.
She was on early, and she's only 2 on now.
She's a self-projector, correct?
Yes, she is. She is. We have almost
Nicole.
identical charts.
Nicole's on right now. She hasn't said anything, but hi, Nicole. So Nicole's on, and Rhonda's on right now. So
Okay. So Alicia did make it on. That's cool. That's really sweet of her.
yes, and let's see who else. Barbara, Brittany, those are mine. All right, and Rhonda must be from yours. Yvanya Bartholomew. No stopping us now. We are out.
That's right.
I loved
Oh,
that
cool.
one. Get your questions out now. So it's okay. We did really good.
Very
And
good.
everybody's going to come
Appreciate
in,
it.
and this is going to be inside this group. So, invite or, share it with whoever as you're going,
Okay.
because, I don't know if you guys are going to make your own group, then, that's cool. We'll come over and join yours too.
Deal.
So for right now, this group is just for human design and for speaking, doing just this. Since I'm not a practitioner, I can't really, go on myself and do something every month, which I would like to do. But, that's why I'm hoping if the groups, we start, eventually connecting groups together, with enough of us that are into human design, because it's still new, kind of. It's still growing.
Yeah, it's really growing.
So as
Yeah.
it's growing, we'll, our groups will get better and our channels will get bigger, and, things will happen. But I know that for people who are advanced, and especially the light workers, they are definitely wanting the tools. And if they understand how important it is to really, what a tool it is to be able to get just, between astrology and human design, you get all those charts together and you start looking at all, and it's like, oh my goodness. How could you not know? It's like so much information. It'd take you a lifetime just to learn yourself when you have the blueprint.
Absolutely.
We're running around doing the experience and being humans being. But, and always saying we don't have the blueprints. Well, we do have the blueprints. You guys just don't know it. And when you do, it takes a contractor to read them for you, an interpreter to read them for you. But once you get that, you get it in your own layman's terms and start doing it, and then you can learn how to do it for other people too. It's an amazing tool. Sure, we can help and coach people, but you also can cookie cutter, it, or you can fashion it to the individual. And most of the time with the coaching and the guiding, it has to be very individual. You have to have an arsenal of tools.
Absolutely.
But with human design, you're really okay with just that one.
Yes.
Because you can't get, how long would it take to get past you to where you say, well, I don't know, I think I'm done reading your chart. It's just it's not possible, is it? You're not done, because you can't sit there with them day after day after day and talk to them. You two talk about your charts all the time, and I bet you still come up with something.
Oh, we do.
Somebody triggers something, and you go looking down that road, and all of a sudden you guys learn something new.
Right, because we're experimenting so much, and we went so full-fledged into the deconditioning process by getting into the RVs and getting onto the road that, something different comes up all the time. That's why I believe that the retreats that we're going to be putting on are so vital. I think it's going to be, no, I don't think, I know it's going to be life-changing. So, we're so proud of that last package that we have. It's called our Total Immersion Package. Total Surrender. Oh my goodness, I forgot. Oh my goodness, but it's really immersing your whole essence into a retreat so that you can surrender. So I think that's why I got a little bit confused. They're using both words there, I guess is how it works. But we're going off the chart here and doing something that's never been done before. And what we're doing is we're offering 8 guiding sessions for $777, and that includes a free retreat. Now, who does that? Awesome. Now, the reason that we're doing that is because we really want to give back, and we do. And we know these retreats are going to be life-changing, absolutely life-changing. Magic will be created there because you're going to be with other people that have had 8 guiding sessions, understanding your aura. And can you imagine being around people that understand your aura, how much differently you may be treated? You're going to see so much compassion in the room, so much loving energy.
I want it.
Oh my gosh, the community is going to be
now.
like this. And you're going to be connected to these people forever. Now, we talk about finding our tribe, so we're creating. We're creating it right now through these retreats.
Yes, that's right.
So that's why we wanted to offer it for free. That includes 2 nights lodging. And we're going to be doing it in Sedona, Arizona with the vortexes at an incredibly gorgeous, huge, massive house. And that's going to be included free. Once you get through the 8 guided sessions, then you will be given a certificate to attend one of our retreats. I mean, you talk about life-changing. That package alone right there is going to be life-changing.
I'm assuming they have to get their way to Sedona.
They do have to get their way to Sedona.
That's probably a good thing to say.
But one thing that's excellent, normally you can get very inexpensive flights to Phoenix, Arizona, and then you're talking just a little under 2 hours up to Sedona, so it's not bad at all. And rental cars are really cheap in Phoenix also.
But I'm down here. So
yep.
I can have people come from Tucson and meet me here.
There you go. Drive
into our own little shuttle. If we got enough people together and we all wanted to go up, we could just all drive up together in a little rented van and have one vehicle for all of us.
Absolutely. If you want to drive, that's even better. I mean, not better, but it might be less expensive. That's for sure.
Well, the thing is you can't fly into Sedona. So
no, you have to fly into Phoenix.
Even people that are flying in, not just people that live here, even people flying in.
True.
We might want to actually plan on making the shuttle kind of available thing.
Yes, because we're going to have a special. It'll be a
2-hour drive.
We'll have a private Facebook group for people that have gone through these 8 sessions, goes to the retreat, so that you can always continue to be in contact with them at all times. So you'll be able to be in contact with them before the retreat, so that you can also plan on that, even because we want to make this as affordable as possible, and free is usually pretty affordable. Right. And then if you can figure out your expenses to get there, how much better?
Right. Yeah. And that's just part of doing the 8. Yes. And that's the 777.
It costs $777.
Okay, how do you do those? Are they like modules? Are they live? Are they? How do you do?
They're guidance with one of us.
Yes.
Okay, so a one-on-one, like on the phone.
It's a one-on-one.
on the phone.
On the phone.
And we will be you according to your design. So we're going to use your human design chart to really be able to guide you in the appropriate way for your chart, with you coming to your truth through your authority. So really, it's almost going to be like an accountability partner also, though. You know, whenever we have those eight guidance sessions, we're going to be going, you know, so what did you do this week? Okay, you made this decision. It didn't work out. Did you listen to your authority? You know, we're really going to be holding you accountable to really living that design. That way, whenever we get to this retreat, you're getting around others that have truly put the commitment into living their design. So whenever you're going to be around other people, it's not people that we're going to be going over, okay, so you're a generator, and we're not going to be starting that. No, these are going to be people that have been working with us close, one-on-one for 8 weeks. We want this to go there. Whenever you go there, you know who you are and who you are supposed to be. And you're going to be around, you know, we'll probably keep them at like a dozen people. We want to keep them small and intimate too. That way you guys can be, these can be lifelong friendships and people that can truly support you. You know, Alicia, I was excited that she was on here, you know, and Alicia, she's really one that I rely on a lot now for advice because she's the same type as me and she really understands who I am. And whenever I call her, I don't get the, oh, poor pity me, or like the, oh gosh, how terrible. I don't never get that. She's always like, okay, so what'd you learn? Did you meditate today? You know, you get those accountability partners that are going to keep you accountable for who you are. And then she just keeps going, what did you learn? Did you get anything out of it? Do you think it was because of this? And she just constantly drills me and gets me to release my verbal releases because I'm self-projected. And so really having those people that can hold you accountable, especially whenever you are having something happen, to get you to come to your own conclusions is so vital. And so these retreats are going to be really something to leave with solid foundation and solid friends and people who truly understand how to keep you accountable. And so I think it's going to be really something.
And Nicole has come up with some incredible activities. You talk about fun. She told me about one today, this one activity, and I'm not going to spill the beans because it's just really exciting. And you'll learn a lot from it. But more so than that, you'll have so much fun doing it. And life is supposed to be fun, and it really is. And I think once you start to really understand your human design and actually living it, I mean, you no longer get offended when you're at a party and you realize, oh, I'm the projector. That's why I'm being, you know, and then all of a sudden your lighthouse gets even brighter. And next thing you know, somebody walks up to you and wants to engage and starts talking to you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's because I didn't stand there like I used to thinking, what the heck? Why am I the only one ignored at this party? What am I, chopped liver? You know, you no longer even become offended. It actually becomes amusing. And in that, and as soon as I started observing, my lighthouse gets brighter, and people, one person will become attracted to me. So it's pretty cool. So one of these activities she told me about today, it's probably my favorite one so far.
So okay, so if you guys do have like start like people with 8 weeks, maybe you'll have like certain wave of groups that will be graduating around the same time.
Yes.
As they kind of cycle around. Plus, then I wanted to go back to the original again. So in case somebody who's just coming into all this and they're not ready for that, they're ready just to come on in and try to do something with you. How would they, if they come to this replay and they're like, oh, I should really learn, and they know nothing, how would they just approach you to begin with?
Yeah, so the best way is to go to projectorguides.com, and the very first step is to sign up for a free 15-minute session with one of us. That is the best way to start out. And then you don't have to go for our biggest package. I just talk about that one because I get so excited because I know that is so life-changing. But that free 15-minute can really open your eyes also. And then if that's not enough and you want to go even deeper into your chart a little bit, we do have a 1-hour session for $127. And then we also have another package, which is what we call the Taste of Relief. And it's 4 guided sessions. And I can tell you, even by those 4 guided sessions, you're going to feel that relief. You really are. You'll feel like a load has been lifted off, and you really will. And that one's for only $444. But if you can absolutely afford the 777, oh my goodness. But where do we start? how about that free 15-minute session? That's always a great
Right.
place. If you don't know how to run your chart, don't even worry about it. We can run it for you. We just need your time of birth, your place of birth, when your birthday is, and we can run your chart for you. But we offer a free 15-minute session. Just go to projectorguides.com.
And that's the best way to reach you, through an email or going up there and setting up a session, or to call you? Or
Projector Guides has all of our information. It has our full names. You can add us on Facebook. It has our phone numbers on there. I mean,
and we are contact.
Yeah, there's a contact page. You can send us an email.
Okay.
We're an open book. All of our information's on there. So, I mean, those are direct lines to our phones. I mean, even if you just go and call the number on there, you're going to be calling one of our phones right now. So, there are definitely plenty of times, plenty of places on there. You can also add us on Facebook, like I said, too, and message us through Facebook.
Yeah. Awesome. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I think we're doing good, aren't we? We've answered. Let's see. Rhonda said, oh, yes, love, love, love. I do my naps. Thank you so much, my beautiful sisters. I love each of you.
Aww.
XOXO. And this is amazing.
Aww.
I love it. XXX exclamation. I'm so grateful.
Aww.
So Rhonda's such a sweetheart.
I'd like to meet her.
Yes, absolutely.
Rhonda Garrett is awesome. And I think she's actually kind of new for me, but anyway,
Very
if you're
cool.
not, come on in and join all of our groups, and go check out the website and get involved. And what a beautiful gift. So she sounds like she's, interested in maybe the 15 minutes, and hopefully you might hear from her.
Well, very good.
Very cool.
So we
Very
hope
good.
you enjoyed it, Rhonda, and everybody else who's coming to watch afterwards. This is just an introduction into human design, and to Dana and Nicole. So it's a great, watch the interview if you didn't get a chance to see that earlier. That tells you a little bit more about them and their journey. And then this was a discussion mostly about human design, so that if you want to get involved, they're awesome practitioners, and they'll be affordable and capable of being able to take care of you no matter where they are. You never know, they might be near you, they might not, but they're plugged in, so you can still get their cell phone, so everything's all good.
Yes.
And even, I guess, if you wanted to interact with them about their nomad journey too, you could go up to
Absolutely.
Nicole's Facebook page, or sorry, her YouTube channel, and see more about that too. So if you're coming for the replay, we hope you thoroughly enjoy it. And if you want to find them, you can go to their website. And hopefully this is just the beginning of our discussion groups.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what I wanted to say. I knew it was going to something. So we did this tonight on the timeline because there was more people, and this is the first time, and there's only about 10 people in the discussion group. But when we do these human design chart type discussions, we're going to be doing them in the group from now on, just for the people in the group, because it's very private to talk about your own personal stuff. So we didn't want to get too private talking about it. So we stayed on a more generic level to where you could learn all of it quickly. So I hope you got some information out of this, some good intel, some good little golden nuggets. And learn a little bit more about how people are, and if we put them in just 4 or 5 categories, you can really be up on understanding people really quick. And with astrology, it's 12. So with human design it's pulled it down to about 4 or 5 now, and you're really pretty much talking to 1 or 2 or 3 types of people. So it's just really awesome to be able to understand people better and be more compassionate. That's kind of just a real good, summary of everything we talked about. Is there anything else you think that, a little inspiring?
This was fun.
I think it was awesome, and I'm so glad. Thank you guys for coming
Absolutely.
to do
Thank
this.
you.
We happened to catch them on their journey. Woo, they stopped long enough for us. Woo! Thank you for coming and helping us. We've been waiting for someone to help us along the way with our human design charts, and I know that the universe will divinely inspire more to come. But for right now, everybody, you got 2 choices here, Dana and Nicole. So they told you about how they are. So whoever you resonate with the most, you can go and and talk to them, or you can talk to both of them. which is always nice to have two different points of view. So that's awesome too. Plus, one's younger and one's older, and that makes a difference too.
Yes,
It definitely does. So,
Yes.
everything's awesome. And thank you, ladies, for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And we all look forward to helping all of you out there. So I like to give a nice little blowy kiss. You ready to kiss everyone? Say goodbye. Mwah! Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So he's taking